There's nothing like a relaxing visit to the beach with the kids on a warm summer's day. Exploring the safe, shallow tidal pools to collect colorful shells and tiny marine animals is definitely a highlight for the family outing. But if you only knew, lurking beneath the tranquil water's surface hides a small, highly intelligent, well-camouflaged, and most importantly, a deadly creature that can turn your family fun into a life or death drama. One of the most deadly creatures known to man comes in a tiny package. The blue-ringed octopus is the smallest of the octopus family, growing to the size of a golf ball. They're brown in color, but when disturbed, have bright blue pulsing rings all over their body and legs. Living for up to 2 years and dying after the reproduction cycle, the blue rings lead a brief but active life. They're also highly intelligent problem solvers, so I guess you could say they're the nutty professors of the seas.
Your average blue-ringed octopus probably only lives about 3 or 4 months. They grow very, very quickly. Basically, the males and the females grow up, become sexually mature. The males pass over sperm packets. The female then stops feeding and lays probably 50, 60 eggs and nurses those eggs for probably about a month and a half, depending what the temperature's doing. Those eggs hatch and the female then dies. So very short lifespan on these animals. Blue-ringed octopus are found right around Australia in most of the rock pools around the water's edge.
The blue ring is generally a shy animal, preferring to hide away under ledges and holes in the reef. But if disturbed, they will become one of the most lethal animals on the planet. Sydney Aquarium's Martin Garwood knows its dangers.
The blue ring octopus has what's called tetrodotoxin in their beaks, so they can bite and inject it like a venom. And it's extremely venomous. It's one of the most dangerous toxins known to nature.
Tetrodotoxin is the same neurotoxin in pufferfish and poisonous dart frogs, and it's 1,200 times more toxic than cyanide. There's no antivenom available yet, so a bite from a blue-ringed octopus is particularly deadly. Venom biologist Jamie Seymour has spent many years working with deadly creatures.
A bite from a blue ring is potentially fatal, there's no doubt about that. It will stop all the voluntary muscles in your body from moving. So what it basically does is stops your diaphragm from moving. Once your diaphragm stops moving, it means you can't breathe, and so you asphyxiate and die.
Many deadly encounters with a blue ring happen without the victim even knowing.
We were just out with friends on their boat and pulled up the boat, so we all leapt in the water, a lovely day for a swim. So we went in the water, we were just swimming around, and I could see some shells on the floor. I just picked them up and I put them in the top of my togs. And then I swam back to the boat, and at the back of the boat my son was there, so I got them out, handed him the shells, at which point he put them on the table on the back of the boat, and out popped a blue-ringed octopus. And he was flashing brightly with his blue rings going. It was only when we went home and we thought we'd look it up on the internet and realise it's got enough venom to kill 21 people, adults, and that you wouldn't know because it basically paralyses you. So yes, it was at that point that we thought we'd been rather stupid.
We've had probably about 2 or 3 deaths from blue-ringed octopus in Australia. By and large, as long as you breathe for the victim, you will keep them alive. That toxin will wear off over a period of hours and you can bring the person back to life. By and large, most people know they've been bitten by a blue ring because it hurts. Basically, you pick the animal up, and that's the way most people get stung. They poke at it or do something with it. The animal then flashes these brilliant blue rings at you, and then it bites. So it's got a beak very much like a parrot beak, and there's a series of glands in the back of the animal. When it bites, it then spits the venom or the toxin into the bite wound, and it tends to hurt. From then on in, it's a matter of time, paralysis setting in. But if you're bitten by a blue ring, you know about it because it hurts.
Within minutes, your lips and tongue go numb. You have difficulty breathing. Then total paralysis of the lungs follow. You then go into a zombie state where victims appear unconscious, but they can still hear what is going on around them.
Historically, this is exactly how you make zombies. Everybody goes, well, there are such things as zombies. There are. If you get just the right amount of toxin, you can decrease the heart rate and decrease the breathing rate. It's so low, it looks like the person's dead. So they may only breathe once or twice a minute, and it looks like they're dead. So basically you give them enough of the toxin, bury them in the ground under a very shallow layer of sand or dirt. After about 4 or 5 hours, the toxin wears off. The person then digs themselves out of the ground, instant zombie. If you're making zombies, you have to get the amount of toxin exactly right. Too much, the person dies. Not enough, then the person doesn't, their heart rate and their breathing doesn't decrease enough, so it still looks like they're alive. So it's a very, very fine line.
The symptoms from a blue-ringed octopus bite are nausea, blurred vision, numbness, loss of speech, inability to swallow, and paralysis. If bitten, time is not on your side. It is a medical emergency.
The best thing to do is a compression bandage. Head to hospital as quickly as possible and they'll put you on a respirator to breathe for you. Blue rings are very small, so they can feel threatened by anything bigger than themselves. So humans, especially kids looking around touch pools, they're looking for things that are cool, and a little octopus might seem like a good animal to interact with, but that's going to be very scary to that octopus, and that's when they could potentially try and defend themselves by biting.
It's only when you provoke them or you upset them or you mess with them that they bite. It's a defensive attitude. These guys use this venom predominantly for their food. Okay, so they're feeding on crabs and other crustaceans, things of that nature. So what they do is they jump on the crab, they bite a hole in its back, spit the venom in, and it paralyzes the crab, then they eat it. These guys use it, I mean, if you picked one up and the rings weren't flashing and it wasn't upset, it'll happily sit on your hand. It's when they get upset that they react and basically go, okay, well, I've got no other option. Bite you, inject venom into you, and then they try and get away.
So your next outing to the beach can very quickly turn to high drama because waiting in the shallows is a small demon with a devastating bite.
Like most animals, if you know what you're doing, you can hang on to the animals, and the chances of being stung or bitten are very, very small, but they exist. It's much like snakes. If you know what you're doing and you stay away from the bitey end, you're as safe as houses. To the average punter though, it's not an animal you should be playing with.